This is one of the biggest nightmares when it comes to insurance, and why so many people do not believe, or they're very skeptic about it, and that is when you get stuck in a term policy when you should be in a permanent one. But what's the difference? Sit down, I'm going to tell you. First, I'm going to start with a story with my stepmom, because when I started selling life insurance, she told me I used to have life insurance, and she was so happy, everything was protected, everything was good. She had better health at the time. It was when they first moved into their house, 20-30 years ago, and she was very proud of herself, as you would be. Then they got that letter in the mail that says, your term is up. If you want to continue with this policy, pay $300. And that obviously was not affordable, so she canceled. Now they have their home that is free and clear. It's worth a good chunk of money, and if they were to pass away, they have nothing to save for funeral, and they have nothing to help pay for the fees of that home being transferred to their children, myself included. I'm helping to fix that for them. But so many people get stuck in that trap of, especially when they're young, when people want affordable insurance. And it's the thing that I don't like with most life insurance agents, is they just want to get you in the door. They want you to become a client, because then they have the potential of selling you more products in the future, better products right away. My philosophy is, yeah, I could sell you a term policy, but I'm going to sell you what you need. If you need something more than a term policy, I'm going to sell you something more. If you need a term policy, I'm going to sell you that, because I want what you need to protect yourself for the dreams and the goals that you have. Now, what is the difference between term and permanent? Those are words that get thrown around a lot, but what exactly do they mean? Term is often temporary. It is meant to give you large amounts of money for cheaper prices. Think mortgage. Having a household with young children, which is more expensive, having to pay for college for them, having your more debts and more bills when you're younger, as you're traveling, you're doing stuff. So it's more that temporary things. It's a lot more affordable. It's a lot cheaper. People often get it. I have a couple term policies. I have one that's a standalone for my mortgage. It's $1 million. I got it when I got my mortgage. But I also have permanent plans that have temporary added to it to help cover some debt and other things. So, temporary, you don't get to keep it. It renews. And more often when it does renew, it gets more expensive. They usually come in 10, 20, 30 years. So people give them to young kids in their 20s. By the time they're their 50s and 60s, they all of a sudden realize it's more expensive, or they have none. Permanent insurance, on the other hand, if you go back to my video from last week, I talk about the difference between universal and whole life. Those are both permanent, and they're meant to stay with you till you die, or till the end of your life. I guess that is when you die, right? But they stay with you. Most often they're used for for funerals, for fees, for transferring your assets over to the people that are your beneficiaries. A lot of people use them for wealth building. They're very good for accumulating, because they have cash value, because it is stuff that you currently pay into. It is more expensive, which is why most people don't give it to young people, or they don't give it to some people that are maybe have a lower budget. But it is more valuable for investments. It's tax-free, and it allows for you to borrow from it. There are benefits to both. You could choose which is more beneficial to you, what you're looking for. I like stacking both when possible, because it's cheaper. It's cheaper to put on a permanent one and add temporary to it than it is to have the higher dollar value for permanent right to the end of your life. But depending on what type of assets you have, like Denise, she has her farm, and that's worth over $2 to $3 million, and it gained that much. So her capital gains, she needs a high value for permanent insurance for the end of hers to be able to transfer the farm away. But most other people, they can go with a smaller permanent and add a temporary to it. So message me, DM me, comment if you are interested in knowing if you have a term policy, because unfortunately you got stuck in something that was more affordable and cheaper, and we're gonna get you for some type of business. Or if you got something that's set up, and if you're not 100% sure, let me know. I do that for free because I want to make sure you're protected.